And hello, welcome to Password Mode. I always get like almost mixed up with the names.
To be honest, I thought you're going for like a Picard or like the Star Trekky guy.
No. I just always almost get mixed up with the names because we do a lot of them, and sometimes they just get mixed in together. I'm Joe. That's Mitch. Find us on Twitter, Halftime Joe Mitch692. Of course, TV show podcast for Comic Book Cast. Google us. You find all the links for CBC everywhere, such like that. And I mean, we have a pretty big show. I don't know if you have anything else to say at the very beginning.
No, we've
Other,
got enough to talk about. So
yeah, other than just if you're not following us on Twitter for our hot takes on E3, you should, because this is probably gonna go up maybe during the Sony conference. So
it'll probably be when it ends.
yeah, about around that time. So
Yeah.
yeah, make sure to do that, and we will get it started with the first piece of news, which is gonna be talking about Wally West no longer in Legends after just being added as like a series
L
regular.
L fucking L is all I can really say.
See,
Um, yeah, I think something's going on at the CW.
so initially when I heard this, I was like, "That's so weird." You think they would have kept them on, and that would have go with my kind of thing of like just keep switching out every season. But then he left, and there's really nothing to be said about it because I think Constantine's coming out for series regular next season, and then came out recently that Keenan Lyasdale, the guy who plays Wally, kind of just said his life is going in a different direction. He's just not doing. I don't know if he's just not acting anymore. Is that the thing?
I don't know. Well, if you flash back to not that
Flash.
long ago, but that's a very unintentional fact. I didn't even think of that. Thea, Willa Holland said similar things.
Just her life is going. Yeah, she
Yeah.
exit from the season and she's just going in a different direction too.
And what did Twitter detectives find out? She stopped following people on the show. I
Oh,
think
you think there was a
mainly
falling out, right?
I think she mainly unfollowed Mel and Ricards.
Yeah, I heard
So
something about that too. That there might have been like a
mm,
falling out with some
yeah.
of the actors and actresses on the show, and maybe with, I guess the higher ups. I don't necessarily know too
Mm.
much into it, but it's weird. I think Stephen Amell came out and said, right, like there's nothing wrong, but that's what he's supposed to say.
I don't know what his response was to any of it, but I just saw that the hot rumor is that there was a falling out. So if that's true, I find it kind of strange that he, what's his name, guy who
Keenan,
plays Wally.
yeah, Lions Death. Just say, just say.
Yeah, that he kind of now is just stepping away, and it's not really a reason as to why. So, oh, my life's going a different direction. It's like you just had a permanent spot on a show. Uh, I don't know. It sounds fishy to me. I don't trust it.
I don't know. I've followed Amel for like more than 6 years. I would say since even before he started on Arrow and just social media. He I don't doesn't seem like a guy that you could have a problem with, honestly.
Yeah, but that's social media.
But a lot of
No,
times, social media is who you really are.
no, it's not.
I mean, it
It's the
can't.
complete opposite. So all you ever see on social media is what you want people to see.
I mean, I tend to think people are as good as we should want them to be. Like yeah,
I
I'm pretty
mean,
optimistic about that.
sure,
I'm not gonna think
sure.
Amel's a bad guy just because of like some
I
stuff
mean,
that could have
I'm not
happened.
saying he's a bad guy. I'm not even saying that it might have been Willa Holland's fault that they had a falling out. It could
It's
be
true.
or
Could
her.
be
I'm not saying
anybody's fault. Nobody's really gonna know.
exactly, but saying oh, but he's so nice on social media. It's like you have
No,
no idea who the fuck
but
that guy is.
I mean, it's that, and it's just that I don't think I've ever seen or like anything about like there could have been like even in the 6 7 years that this show's been running that there could have been something on set. Like usually that stuff leaks out. I don't remember anything like
I
this.
mean, not necessarily. Look how many. Now, this not to make it political or anything, but look at all these people, women coming forward with like sexual
Sure,
harassment
I mean it's true.
things, and even one with Morgan Freeman, people are like, what the fuck, Morgan Freeman? Like,
It could have had something to do with the guy who stepped down, who's handling the Flash. Remember that had
yeah,
something to do with a lot
yeah.
of that, and all the actors and actresses, the main ones, came out and said like they were against him, and they honestly didn't know. So I maybe that has something. There's something like that still going on. Like there's a stench of that, or I don't know. I don't want to put too much into it in the
You
CW.
know, as the poem goes, beware the man you think you know. No.
Yeah, but then that's such a. I don't know. I'm tend to be more of a positive outlooking like person, so I would hope that there's really
I mean,
nothing wrong. It's
it's
just
not
that they
even
honestly decided to just they didn't want to do the show anymore.
like it's not even a case of, oh, I've got a positive outlook. It's not that at all. It's just, you can't look at everything through rose tinted glasses. That's how you get into
It's true
trouble.
because I remember listening to this podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex on Smallville, and he talked to Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent on Smallville, and that after the whole 10 seasons, he felt like he was just honestly done at season 6 or 7, just like because of the workload. Maybe the workload was too much for some of these
I
people.
mean, sure, yeah, it could be as simple as that.
Yeah,
It could,
because
yeah. I am just giving out one possible bit of.
I haven't looked too much more into
drama
it with
theory.
the Twitter detectives because there still should be like a web series.
I'd be interested to see if he's still following people because you don't just on. I know it's only social
Well,
media.
I kind of
just
unfollow people just because I'm OCD like that. I only want to stay at 100 followers.
Yeah, but you have a reason for that, and you're weird. You're an exception.
You're
You're not
right.
exceptional. Let's get that straight. You're an exception. That kind of proves the rule. Like, people don't just. There's always a reason for unfollowing someone or unfriending someone on Facebook or whatever, or not texting or not calling someone.
Maybe.
Maybe it's a bit of a cynical.
Agreed. Yeah. I just tend to think like people are just unfriend and unfollow. Just I don't know. It's just random. Like it's like oh okay. I don't know. I don't necessarily talk to this person anymore. Do I necessarily have to follow them or you know? It's like it doesn't necessarily mean I'm not their friend. Like I'm not friends or following some of my real friends, like real life friends, like that I've known for like 10 years.
That would hurt me. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Really? I don't know. I just.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference because I don't necessarily see you in person, so like that. Because I see all these other people in person, so you know.
So I had that the other day actually. I didn't even know this person unfriended me on Facebook, and they just refriended me, and I was like, no, like you're gonna pull that shit. I haven't spoken to you in about 5 years. I don't know who you are anymore.
When people follow me or just like refriend me, I guess I just think like, oh, they must have did it by accident. I don't know.
You don't do it by accident.
That's what I tend to think. I just like,
on Twitter you can unfollow people by accident.
Yeah, my Twitter used to do that a lot.
And I've had it. Like, other people do it to me, and vice versa. Facebook, you have to click like 3 buttons.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
There's no like accidental unfollowing on there. But I mean, back to the whole conversation. I'd like to think it's he's just I just want to do different things.
So, but also
at the same time,
there's something with the whole Twitter detective things because Colton Haynes is returning as a series regular as Will Holland is exiting.
Yeah, but I found that weird because didn't they write them both out at the same time?
Yeah, they went away and now he's just come back. Like,
and then
they're not dead.
Yeah, but Haynes literally came back like the next episode.
Well, some people tend to think like, oh, it just didn't work out in the movies for him.
Oh, this was the whole like Willa Holland thing.
Oh, okay.
When they wrote Willa Holland or Thea out, they wrote Roy out with her.
I haven't seen season 7 ever, so I mean 6, so I don't necessarily.
Well, from what I've been told, like they both left on a bike or whatever to do God knows what.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
But then he came back like either the next episode or 2 episodes later.
He's like,
so like there's something I don't know, something's fishy with this for me, and I think the whole because you had all that and now this, it's like what is going on? Like maybe it could just be he's salty that he's been taken off the Flash.
Maybe. I don't know. It really could be anything. But I liked how we initially, before the show, we were talking about this, and we thought like we were going to talk about how Legends was the like. Apparently, people love Legends. We were so like astonished over that.
I completely forgot about that.
Like I'm so surprised that people love Legends. I remember I did not really like Legends season 1. I mean, I probably enjoyed it from time to time, but I honestly like thinking about it. I didn't think that was that great of a show.
Well, here's the thing: it's comics for normies.
I guess
it does like weird, wacky stuff that you would probably find in comics, but it'll be the bad comics.
But it's like I told Mitch before this. Like I also said this before. They know what they are. Yeah. And they're just sticking to it. They're like, we know what we are, and we're just gonna have fun with it. That's kind of what it is, honestly. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I gotta catch up. They're all on Netflix. Good thing.
I mean, I don't think you have to catch up, but if you want to catch up,
I do, because it's been a while, and it's like I'm curious as to where the stories went. I just haven't seen this past year's seasons, and then that's it. Like, I just need to catch up on Supergirl season 3, Flash season whatever. Apparently, people don't like the season for the Flash, which it is what it is. I didn't. A friend of mine has given up on the Flash. He's just like a friend of mine that I see every other day is just like, bro, I just gave up. I didn't like it at all.
I mean, for the most part, the people I know that watched it haven't watched it for a while. It's just like it's just no. The main reason's Iris, and there's a pattern.
I didn't like the "We Are the Flash." I never liked that.
Yeah. But, you know, there's a pattern with CW. They always bring in these characters. I'm sure Iris is part of Flash's stuff, but you know, like you got what's her face in Arrow. It's just like, can we not?
Felicity. I still really think you can write these characters well, and they're only annoying because the writers are like writing them certain ways.
This is the thing. There's no bad characters.
Yeah, it's just bad writers.
There's no bad characters.
There's no such thing as a bad character. Yeah.
It's impossible for a character to be bad.
They're only looking as bad. It's because the writers are writing them in a bad way, and you're just like, damn, they're being written super bad.
So you know, you could say a character's ill-conceived. Still writer's fault.
So. This is bringing back to, we talked about it on Friday's show, the whole Justice League thing of how, like, Scott Snyder didn't necessarily care about, like, blowing up the moon, right? So there was a moment in, like, season 4 of Arrow where it was Felicity, her dad, her mom, and Curtis, and they were talking about family problems while nukes were going off and, like, we're going to, like, certain places. I was like, I think you have more important things to talk, like, to try to figure out, like, I don't care who cheated on who, like... or whatever, who was there. I was like, there's a nuke going on?
I like how you have your priorities straight for that. Yeah, I get that. No, it's fine.
Well, because there's a different thing, because there's actually something...
It's the same fucking thing.
Okay, but I did tell you that I like, no, and I did tell you that it sucks when writers do that, because it's not necessarily great execution on their part, but I still said that I loved the ideas more than the problems in Justice League. I don't necessarily love the ideas in Arrow more than I do the problem. Yeah.
Actually, no, I'll save that fun fact for another time, because it's not the time or place for that.
Well, but I guess going on to the next piece of news, we are, unless you have anything more.
No, from one piece of woeful news to another.
Marvel's TV boss, I think Jeff Loeb, said that no plans for Defender Season 2. Apparently this has been said already.
Yeah, it's been said. You'll get the people being like, oh, but it said Series 1, or watch the complete series. And it's like, yeah, but that's not saying they weren't ever wanting to do a second one. That's just kind of a scapegoat for this situation exactly, and along with the humans, since it's a fucking picture in the article there, and it makes me sad. Yeah. Even though apparently, actually, while we're talking, Defenders, they've said it wasn't going to happen before. Let's go on. Inhumans might
come back. Yes.
Be coming back.
Yes. So get somebody good on it.
It might be without Black Bolt, since I think he's on that Star Trek show.
Oh, the new one, right? The one with what's the chick from Walking Dead?
What was he only on that for an episode or two? I can't remember.
I mean, no, nobody else is doing anything on that show, right? Yeah, I don't think they've done anything.
I'd say A1 Rayon. I don't think he's doing anything. I think Surinder Swan. Yeah, I think they're all free. For the most part, they're all... Actually, I don't know. Who played Karnak? What was his name? It's going to bug me what he's called. But I think he might have a show, but no.
So, is that the whole stay tuned? Like, he says stay tuned, and it's like there's Ghost Rider. They mentioned in the article. I've always thought that could work out. Because kind of like if you look at Gabriel Luna's Twitter, like sometimes he's always hinting at random stuff. It's like I also just felt like that is a natural progression for like stuff like for Ghost Rider to have his own show, because I think he's big enough.
Gabriel Luna said right from the word go that they're talking about it.
Yeah, they've always like this is. It was just a matter of when it was gonna happen.
Yeah. We still got the John Ridley Marvel show.
Yeah, and that's been like for the last 4 years, I think, that they mentioned it.
It's about that, yeah. There's a couple of shows they got going on.
This is like what I've always said. In today's social media era, the curtains are being lifted, and some of the stuff that you hear for like 4 years, 5 years, that's natural. Well, you're just hearing about it super early because that's just where we are, and now that everybody needs to hear this stuff super early, even just like we're thinking about it. Look at E3, right? People are just throwing stuff out like we're thinking about it, and that's all you really need to know because that's what people want nowadays. People just want to know that.
I was actually going to use E3 as an example. Look how long games take to make. No different to anything else.
Exactly.
Some movies can take 10 years to make.
I mean, Deadpool, like we didn't. It was like 10 years before like we had actually had this kind of stuff where we wanted to know this. So that's why you didn't know it was trying to be made unless you read the trades and stuff like that. But now it's all over Twitter and stuff like that. Like that's just how it is now. And like with the whole John Ridley stuff, even though we heard it such a long time ago, it doesn't mean it's ever going to go away. It might still be in development for as long as 10 years if they wanted to, but until it's ready.
Fun fact, I still think it's Miss Marvel.
I mean, me too, but that makes sense for after Captain Marvel officially comes out.
I don't think there's any reason for them to say classified and to keep it as secret as long as they have without it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could be anyone.
To me, it made sense if it was going to be Miss Marvel because the dude who's writing it wrote American Crime, and it was going to be like a very street kind of vibe to it. And I feel like Miss Marvel could have that, like down in the streets, like Spider-Man, where you're not necessarily.
I mean, that's what she is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It works.
A big, she's a very small family, street-oriented person.
That's exactly why I say it works, and that's what exactly I've been saying. Like, I think we've all been saying it for the longest time. Like, it just makes sense, especially with Captain Marvel coming out.
She's literally also built for TV.
Her powers necessarily the most.
Maybe not her powers. The powers, you
gotta work around that.
Like, if it's like 8 episodes, you could possibly do it.
Yeah.
Give it a decent budget. But just the stories. Most of the time in the start of her run, she didn't even really use her powers.
Yeah, sure.
It was all character driven, so you could possibly get away with that for maybe like half a season or like 4 episodes, and then you can slam it all in the back half. But...
True. So yeah, Luke Cage, and I think in a week or two. A week? Is it this week? Don't think so.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have not watched a single thing for Luke Cage.
Me either. I just saw one picture of Danny Rand in it, and that was kind of it. And also when we first heard that the Dragon Daughters, whatever, is going to be in it.
Dragon,
yeah.
I mean, like that. Oh, that's cool. Like, I'm gonna watch it. Let
me look it up real quick.
I don't know. I think it's the way they handle these Netflix shows. Like, I really like both Jessica Jones seasons. I like Daredevil season 1, 2 was okay.
Yeah.
I'm still excited for 3 just because of what they're doing with like fucking Bullseye and Kingpin, the whole Born Again stuff. I'm excited for him, but it's like I have no need to watch any of the trailers because you already kind of know the direction they're gonna go with it, unless Luke Cage changes that up.
Well, you'll see in a week and something because it's next Friday or next Thursday. Yeah, next Friday morning. People stay up for it. I remember I did, and then I was like, "That's not worth it. I'd rather just watch a bunch of together instead of just one and then go to sleep."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna watch. I'll probably watch it over the weekend.
Yeah, it's the binging thing where people sometimes make it a weekend thing, not like a day thing. It's a weekend thing now. Like you watch 4 episodes one day Friday, and then 4 episodes Saturday, 4 episodes Sunday.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm watching stuff now.
I do it over 2 days, I think, like half and half.
So you do it over a weekend?
Yeah, but I just Sunday. It's like I just don't do that. Like some people do it all 3 days. I only do it the 2 days.
Oh, I mean, the weekend is.
It is the weekend, I guess. So yeah. All right.
But yeah, it's.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not overly upset that there won't be any Defenders because they really mishandled Defenders. Like, to the point where it's like, you know what? I don't really care. I haven't got to see them together again. Just have them appear in each other's shows. It's fine with me.
Yeah, I agree. All right. If that's it, we are going to be going on to the next piece of news, which is going to be talking about Amazon Studios possibly saving Lucifer. Like, they talked about it. They actually really talked about it in an interview with, like, somebody, one of the higher-ups at Amazon. They said, we've talked about it.
I was going to say, a lot of people have been wanting Lucifer to get picked up again. So
I love this show. I think it is such an enjoyment to watch. Like, when I would watch it week to week on Hulu, I just felt like it was such a relaxing time to watch it. You know,
Yeah.
it
And
was
the only problem is the only time I've heard people talk about this show is when it got cancelled.
really because I
Yeah.
swear, like, yeah, I don't hear a lot of people to like. It doesn't get a lot of like talking like in my Twitter thing, but I honestly think it does like in certain spheres. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
certain.
mean, it very well could do, but I've never.
I think you couldn't. I don't know. I don't know if you'd hate that how British he is, but I think you might enjoy it if you ever saw it. It's actually I love like his humor. I think it's really funny.
Here's the thing: if it's American British, then it'll just probably just grate on me.
I don't know.
It'd be like
He's
this
actually.
is. But
What do you mean by American British? Because he like literally does like things I would watch on like the British channel. What is BC? What's it called?
I mean, there's a lot of British channels,
No, but
Joe.
what's the one?
You have like
BCB? What's it
1,000.
called?
BBC.
BBC. Like just like Torchwood and stuff like that. It's almost that kind of humor. Feels like
Yeah,
it to me at least.
what I mean is an American trying to write British. No, there's a vast difference between what you guys think we're like and what we're actually
It
like.
feels like he does a lot of ad libs because he is a British native, I think.
If he's actually British, then fine.
Yeah, I think
Then
he's a British native, and he
that's
does like ad. It feels like he does ad libs a lot because it
yeah,
just
but
feels like it doesn't feel like he can write this kind of stuff on a script. It's natural. It just comes natural. To
well,
him.
I mean, you can because we do it all the
I
time.
mean, yeah, but it just feels like it seems like it comes natural. Like it's little ticks here and there that you see. I don't know. I really love Lucifer, and I think the story too is like interesting. I just like him doing Lucifer stuff. It's just
Yeah.
always
But
funny.
he's like every time I hear someone talk about, or no, the three people I've ever seen talk about Lucifer,
Me
they
included.
all really like it, but I don't know anyone that doesn't necessarily like it. Like I've never seen anyone say the show's bad.
Yeah, but it's just not a lot of people that are
It's just
like
people who
liking
never
it.
watched it. Like they either
Yeah,
never got round to it, or they just kind of like, oh, that's a thing still.
I
Like,
think it's the best show on Fox. So that's like, it's weird. I think it's better than Gotham. I think it's better than a lot of these other shows.
even better
Except
than Legion.
which one? Oh,
Legion.
Legion's not on Fox. It's on FX.
Oh, that's Fox. Don't give me
Is it? I
that.
mean, I guess I mean like just that one channel Fox. Like that's not like FX and these other ones or whatever.
I mean, to be fair, over here Fox is just FX. So
Oh, okay, well there you go.
like everything that would ever be on Fox is on FX.
You know, to be fair, Brooklyn Nine-Nine might actually be the best show on Fox. But other than that, I just hope and wish Amazon would pick it up. But at the same time, they have like a lot of stuff they rather do. So I don't know if this is like something they
Well,
care for.
here's the thing, there's a bit of hope where it says the UK group was really bullish on it.
Yeah.
So you go for that UK, with at least the third biggest market in the box office.
Yeah.
So TV wise, I can't imagine we're
So I guess
that far.
when they're looking at it from like the UK statistics and all that, they're like, wow, I mean, they must love Lucifer, so we could put it up there. I mean, they saved shows before, like Amazon has, so
I mean, they also like buying up comic book shows. They got Cloak and Dagger for over here.
oh, for real?
Yeah.
I did not know that actually. Also, they save like shows that Netflix like just gets rid of. So like Psych and Friday Night Lights are like, well, we can take them, and I'm like, thank you, because I would love to just watch like those shows anytime, and it's on Amazon now.
I mean, also The Expanse.
Oh, that too, yeah. They
But,
save
but
these
like
ones.
it's weird to me in this like IP war we're living in at the minute. I don't know why anyone would ever get rid of anything that does well.
But
does
did
DC get
Lucifer
rid
do
of it,
well
though?
though? That's
I
what I'm
mean,
thinking. That's why I
how
think they canceled it because it just didn't get the viewers. I mean, I'm pretty sure people liked it, but it just doesn't mean it's like doing the best.
Joe, what season was it on?
I mean, I guess if it's on season 3, people must have liked it, right? Like
It's
enough
got
to
an
watch.
audience.
Yeah.
Like it's
If it's more than one season, then it has enough of an audience. Yeah.
actually, what was Lucifer on? Was it? I mean, to be fair, I know. I'll tell you exactly why Fox got rid of it. It's not a Disney property.
Maybe it's a Warner Brothers property.
Disney, yeah, Disney couldn't like, or even like Universal. Either one of them can't have this property.
Hey,
Because then that's
DC streaming service.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, I still think Amazon will pick it up.
Probably, but if not, there's still hope with a DC streaming service, shouldn't there be? Right?
Yeah, I mean, they need content more than anyone.
And I think people would go like, "Oh, you have Lucifer on there? Psh, I'm there." Especially if they do like the binge style instead of weekly.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome, man. I would hope somebody picks it up, whether it be Amazon or DC's streaming
so
service.
someone will pick it up. It's not going. It won't be there for long. It's not going to be like a Constantine. Constantine was an unfortunate product of its time because it just missed this IP war.
If it would have just been 1 year later, right? Maybe
Get one or two. When did Constantine come out?
2014. 2014, I feel.
Was it 2014?
Yeah.
Christ,
If it came out in
been that long?
2016. Oh yeah, 2014 to 2015, but mostly 2014.
But yeah, a year and a half
Later?
maybe, and it might have got picked up by someone else.
You
It
don't
doesn't help. It doesn't help to CW fucking snatched it and it did nothing with Constantine.
you don't think Constantine could come out on it? Like, I know it's hoping like the DC streaming service would be like the saving grace for shows that people love. That I mean, Young Justice is that one, right? The saving grace for it.
What I'd imagine, this is how I'd handle it personally. I would, if I was a DC streaming service, I would have like Constantine and Lucifer on there.
Back to back, baby.
And then, you do what Netflix did with Young Justice. You look at the numbers. If the numbers are there for the shows, pick it up.
And I'm sure
Like,
they are, because CW Seed was playing it and kept hyping it up. And also, Constantine's now on Legends, so it's like people must have really loved him. And also, it's probably the first time that Matt Ryan's free. It's like I was doing other stuff, so it's like now I'm free. I can come back to go play this character on the series regular.
True.
So it's like a mix of both.
Yeah.
I hope that, we've been saying this for a while, right? That it's the start of bringing Constantine back.
Even though at this point, I think it's a bit too late.
I mean, the animated show is coming out on CW Seed, and like
You mean the animated episode?
Oh, it's an episode? Oh, it is like 5 minutes long, right? Yeah.
I was gonna say CWC. They have no idea what an episode is.
Honestly, hate that so much. That
It's so cheap. It doesn't help that their animation's even like one of the cheapest you can get. It's just like, oh. Why?
So you mean you're in the same boat, right? Of that we haven't finished Constantine season 1 until there's a Constantine season 2.
Yeah,
if there ever is.
I refuse to watch that season finale, mainly because I don't want to get myself hurt. Yeah. Because I will get hurt. I'll be like, oh.
But I'm such the biggest fans of TV shows that end in one season, though. I find a lot of them on Netflix, and I'm just like, man, imagine if this would have got a season 2.
Can't do it. If the Marco Polo Netflix got cancelled, didn't watch the season. Don't do it.
Oh man.
If I know a show's been cancelled, I will not watch it. It's part of the reason why I will never watch Firefly, because I'm not getting attached to something that's been cancelled.
Oh, there's so many shows though that I don't even know got canceled. They're just one season on Netflix, and I watch them, and I'm just like, bro, I really like this show. There's no more seasons to it, but I just like, man, I really enjoyed it.
It's kind of like, House of Cards hasn't been cancelled, but I haven't watched the last season of that. But then again, that's mainly because of Kevin Spacey and him being Kevin Spacey. It's just like, I don't really want to watch the show anymore. No.
You know, though, I almost didn't finish the show Deception. That's from WB, was on ABC because it got canceled, right? But then I finished it. I was like, oh man, it would have been like I just got myself worked up. It was so good that I was like,
that's exactly what I want to avoid. The Shannara Chronicles that got cancelled. I ain't watching that season.
Oh, it's not on season 2. Like no more 3. Like no season 3.
I think it was season 2. Yeah.
It's season 2, then did it get canceled after season 2?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that had some potential to it.
Yeah, because Netflix picked it up, at least over here.
Yeah.
And then like the next year, I went to go watch it, and then it's like, oh, Shannara Chronicles cancelled. I'm like, well,
man, that had some potential to it, right?
I really enjoyed that show.
I didn't see season 2, but I enjoyed season 1. I thought it went way too. It was the same problem I have with Krypton, that I felt like the stakes and the kind of the ending story was way too big for season 1.
Well, I think the whole thing with Shannara Chronicles is it wasn't, each season's like in a different time period. Like it's got a connective like through line, but it's all different, and shit's supposed to be big like that, so you can kind of get away with it.
See, I don't know. I still, that was, I don't know, it was the same problem. I haven't seen season 2, so I'll have to see it, but it was just the same problem I had with Krypton. I just felt it was too big for the first season. I always feel like you should start small in the first season. I don't know. It's just, I feel like to ground it and to get the characters more, but there's nothing wrong with, I guess, starting big, because sometimes it can be cool. Yeah. Alright. I guess that's going to be it for that. We're going to go into the next piece of news, which is going to be talking about HBO greenlighting a Game of Thrones prequel. The pilot, though. Only the pilot.
Well, I mean, it's only ever the pilot. It's very rare you get like a full season order like...
Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones.
Cloak and Dagger. No.
Sure.
I think even Game of Thrones only had a pilot.
Really? I felt like it was straight to season.
I don't think that's that. I could be wrong. I just don't think. You know, for the most part, the rule is, yeah, you have the pilot and then you get.
So
fun fact: Jonathan Ross's wife is writing this show.
Oh. Let's see. Let's see what it's going to be like thousands of years before, of course, the regular Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's most likely going to tell us. It says the darkest hour, so I'm going to assume in that, you know, the story we always hear about when the night came and it stayed here forever for like the longest time until somebody, you know, the guy with the sword, you know, the chosen one, the prophecy. I assume it's going to tell all that. Which
I'll say, I mean, the likeliest option is. Like when the whole Night King, the Children of the Forest, that sort of time period. Because why wouldn't you start off with something safe like that?
And you know why it's a little perfect? Because they didn't do a great job explaining it on the TV show, and it's like, oh well, we're just gonna have our own like TV show for it. It's like a backdoor pilot almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they not do a great job, or did they do a really good job teasing it?
They did I guess, yeah, it depends on how you look at it, right? Because they could have just did a bad job for the show, but they could have also did an amazing job of teasing, like, maybe this is what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the time, because this clearly wasn't thought of when they did that episode, it did a bad job explaining it, in a way. In hindsight, it's a really good tease.
Yeah, because if this, like, show comes out and it's, like, a handful of seasons, 5, let's just say 5, and it does...
It's a prequel. Let's just say at least 2.
Okay, two, right? So I'm gonna assume it's gonna explain the Night King more, who he was before then, whatever. Because really, the Night King's just like a bad guy, like you have to play at the end of a video game, right? Like there's not a lot to him. It's just like, oh, you have to beat him.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to see more on the regular Game of Thrones, but they're gonna have this. I'm all for it. And you know my stance on prequels. I always feel like they don't necessarily work. But I just think this is gonna work.
Yeah, but stuff like this, I don't know if I'd class it. It's like The Hobbit. Is The Hobbit a prequel to Lord of the Rings?
It's almost a spin-off, right?
Well, I mean, the Hobbit came out before Lord of the Rings, but that's...
But it's almost a spin-off in a way, not necessarily a prequel.
Lord of the Rings is a spin-off of The Hobbit.
I guess, yeah, if you want to look at it like that, yeah, actually.
No, let's put some respect on The Hobbit. I know the movies suck, but put some respect on it.
Okay, yeah.
But, you know, this, like, it is a prequel, but it's kind of like a different chapter.
Yeah, because we honestly don't really know too much of that, right? You only hear stories in the show and in the books. You don't necessarily know too much of it.
Fun comparison. This week's episode of Westworld.
It was almost a prequel.
It's exactly the same thing as this. If we're right in thinking it's the Night King, which, I mean, come on, it's going to be the Night King.
I'm assuming it's going to be the Night King, the Children of the Forest. I assume it's going to have, you know, like I said, the prophecy of, like, the guy who had to stab his wife and all that. I can't, you know, it's been a while since I've been in Game of Thrones, like ready shape, like, so I don't remember too much.
The only problem with this is, you know, that the final episode would be him being stabbed on that tree.
Unless you do it differently.
But you can't do it differently because you've shown that exact moment. So you have to build up to that moment.
I don't know if that'd be the ending. That could be the beginning.
Well, no, because then...
Because that's at the end when he gets stabbed on the tree, is it?
Well, that's when he gets made into the Night King.
Yeah, but I would assume that that's not the ending of the show. Yeah. Becoming the Night King. I thought it was going to be the Night King.
No, it won't. It'll be about how he became the Night King.
Oh, okay.
And the Children of the Forest and all that stuff.
Okay.
That's all they've really got at the minute. Like, afterwards, you can then get a bit riskier and a bit ballsier and do something else.
I thought it was going to be that, and then the Night King, like, taking over Westeros, basically, and then having to go into hibernation after he lost.
Nah.
Because
we already know all that. We haven't got to see it. Why not show us who he was before?
I mean, that'd be still be cool. Because I'm still of the mindset that there was like the Night King before, and then once you beat the Night King, you become the Night King for the next generation, and then Jon is just gonna become the next. I'm still kind of like that theory. I still kind of like it in a way.
No, that's kind of.
It's a little weird, but it can. If it worked out well, it could work.
It's too out there.
Yeah, it's true.
It's very really true. Strange. It's too out there.
But one of my, because I still remember one of my favorite things about Game of Thrones was that one episode in season 5 where he's trying to get the wildlings to come with them, and then they like you just hear like silence, and then there's like a code going through and then they have to get on the ships. I still think that was
Yeah,
one of the
good,
best
good
things
episode.
ever, dude. And
Yeah.
that made me think like, man, this guy who we see every now and then, he's a total badass. Like scary too.
I mean, he is scary because you have no idea what the fuck he
Yeah,
is.
that's why I'm glad
Yeah.
that we'll know a little bit
You
more of
know,
him.
he's essentially they kind of played him like actually not quite like Thanos, but the only times you see him, he's pushing someone's shit in.
You think he'll ever talk? Because I don't think he talks in the Game of Thrones, right?
No, he's never talked. And to be honest, I think
It's
there's no
better
need
if he
for
doesn't talk. Yeah.
yeah, there's no need for it. Just have him as a pure force. Make the prequel series. Make us care about who he was,
And then you
and then
revisit this, and you're like, damn, I
yeah,
didn't know
and
that.
and then you got a really fucking good villain on your hands.
Yeah, I'm so down. I'm down for that. I think we're both 100% down for this. Hopefully the episodes don't leak week before.
I mean, they will. It's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But then again, they look at the torrent numbers for that show and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's doing really well, yay. It's like... And then again, it doesn't affect the show in any way, shape, or form. It still had, like, stupid torrent numbers and then stupid rating numbers,
So
so...
is that officially what it's called? The Long Night?
Well, it's Darkest Hour, isn't it?
No, it just says promise to show Westeros darkest hour, but then in this other article it says that it's officially will be called the Long Night.
Oh, then yeah, if it says it's officially going to be called, it could change.
Yeah, I mean, of course they all change. Yeah.
And anything can change. I mean, for right now, the longest night, and yeah, it'll be definitely about
I
him.
think this is the best course you could have taken after Game of Thrones. I know there's the whole like you could have done the Valerians and all that. You could have done all this other stuff, but I think this is the right way. I honestly think this because it's going to tell you about the Night King and who we're just going to finish off with in season 8. It's going to be like the perfect kind of theme.
I agree. I think it's also the safest way, but
Yeah.
it's
the safest
like
way to
when
get people back to.
It's like when you cast an actor. Oh, it's a safe choice. Like, yeah, well, the safe choice is probably the best choice out of time.
Yeah.
That's kind of why it's safe. So yeah, you can introduce a ton of elements into this and tease other stuff. So why not? I'm for it.
I'm very curious if we're gonna have like little moments of like Bran, since he is a three-eyed raven and he can go into the past and certain characters can see him.
Have we seen Bran? Actually, no, because I don't know. You could see Bran if they ever do the tree scene again.
Yeah, like you could see if they, and then he kind of sees them off to the side. Like that's just a tease.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would that be too much? I feel like it'd be enjoyable. Like, oh my god, that was Bran.
I mean, no. It fits how the show did it anyway. It's just a continuity thing. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Like maybe not necessarily have Bran be seen by him in the tree scene if they do that.
Oh no!
Like,
Yeah.
If we see Bran have little flashbacks to like who he was before that moment, sure, have Bran in there, but
Sure, yeah.
you don't necessarily have to have Bran be in there because then he's going to be far older than he ever was.
Man.
But you could have like a little moment, kind of like hinting that it's Bran.
Yeah, like little stuff like that, like a piece of fur is stuck somewhere when he like someone senses something, like stuff like that would be nice teases.
Just get a child and put him in the dark wig.
Yeah.
It's Bran.
But yeah, as we kind of lead off this topic, I just Game of Thrones is probably still my favorite show ever. I think Westworld is getting up there, especially after this recent episode, which we'll talk about later. But I am super excited with anything Game of Thrones related. I love everything about it. I don't know why. This is like just I've fallen in love with Game of Thrones, even though I didn't know about it till like 20 years after it was made.
I'm going to tell you right now, Joe, no one would ever guess you like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's true.
But anyway,
I hope he finishes
it.
I hope he finishes the...
Stop doing the dishes. Right. On to the next.
No, I'm messing with something and I keep dropping it. My bad.
Stop.
So, all right, next piece of news. It's going to be talking about DC Universe streaming service launch month revealed officially.
And it's soon.
August 2018, which is in 2 months.
It's real fucking soon.
I did not expect it this soon, to be honest. December, maybe.
Which kind of makes me wonder, does that mean Titans is weekly?
I hope not. No,
because they're
because
still.
I'm sure they finished filming. No, they're about to finish filming. Like, yeah.
Are they about to finish filming? Because we
Uh,
only got a set photo of Jason Todd the other day.
which is so weird of how like. No, I feel like they are about it. Maybe it is weekly. You're right. It might end up week. I hate that. I want it to be like a binge.
I mean, to be honest, like it's their launch. They haven't got that much content, like new
Yeah, so it's better to
content
be
to bring
weekly to
people
spread it
in.
out. Yeah.
So do get people on for the weekly stuff, and that way you like if people like it, you've got them there for the long haul, and then you can start doing just
Yeah,
drop.
because at the same time, you're paying $10 and you're getting a binge. Like, it's just like finish it in a
Well,
day.
actually, it might not be weekly. It could do the thing that I absolutely fucking hate that Netflix is doing, and that's splitting the season.
What do you mean? So
Well,
like,
if you look at Voltron and like Kimmy Schmidt, they're splitting their season in half.
I don't watch those shows, so I don't watch
Or
Voltron.
like you have a Netflix season of 13 episodes, you get 6.
When? Like, what's the time span in between?
I'm not entirely. It's a couple of months. It's not like 6 months or anything.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Voltron, the first half of the season of this year. Oh, I think it was like March no. When did that drop?
I
I
don't
honestly
know.
can't. It's not that long of a wait. I don't know when the Kimmy Schmidt one's coming out, which you would love Kimmy Schmidt. I'm telling you right now. It's fucking funny. But
Probably, yeah.
no, I can see them doing the split season thing. Just
That
start.
feels so weird. Or it could be the other way around where 12 Monkeys does it and it's just like over 3 weeks, it's 4 episodes, 4 episodes.
Nah,
It's
I
just
don't think
weird
it.
too, to be honest. A lot of these weird ways.
People are just experimenting with how to do the binge watching
Sure,
thing.
there's nothing wrong with experimenting.
Yeah,
Definitely nothing wrong with it. Always try different things. You never know what works.
yeah, yeah.
So of course it's gonna have Titans, the comics. I don't think they say Swamp. It's in production now. Swamp Thing, I think.
I don't think it started, has it?
No, but it says just currently it's in production.
I
For
mean, yeah, it's in production because they've announced it.
I forgot Metropolis is a thing. Well, I forget what that's gonna be about.
Isn't Metropolis the Lex Luthor and Lois Lane
Without
story?
Clark, without Superman, he's kind of like just out there. It's
Yeah,
probably
isn't
what
it? I
Gotham
think
should
it's.
have been. Probably should
I
have.
think it's a. Well, I think it is essentially what Gotham's gonna. Well, what Gotham was.
It was should have been, and then it ended up being something else.
Yeah. So I'm certain it's a prequel.
Metropolis?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be. Oh, I haven't. I don't remember reading the what people said about it in the article when it came out, but I just thought it was gonna be Superman's out there, but he's not on the show. It's just gonna be
Yeah.
Lois
But like,
and
I,
Lex.
I hate that. Can we like not have these? We want to do a comic show, but we don't want to do a comic show thing like Metropolis. Like, if you want to do shit with like a reporter and a businessman, do a show with a reporter and a businessman. Don't. There's no need for this.
Or
Like, just get rid of it.
you just do. See, I think you should make these superhero shows and have them be these type of themes where you could have had Supergirl be a very businessy kind of thing and have some superhero to the side, but that would have made it more serious like, and I don't think, yeah, I don't think it would have went well that way. I still think the Flash should have been more of a detective show instead of kind of what it is.
Well, I mean, yeah, because that's part of the Flash.
Well, yeah, and being a reporter is kind of part of Supergirl in this, and
Yeah.
I thought Arrow probably should have been more. Well, I'm trying to think of a movie.
Well, he's a politician, isn't he? So.
Probably should have been more like House of Cards. That'd be nice, but like some stuff in between where he
Yeah,
has to get
yeah.
stuff done and he has to be Green Arrow.
But here's the
That'd be
thing.
cool.
That's doing it with the characters. That's not taking them out of it and focusing on their side characters.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not-
yeah, yeah. I think yeah, what you're saying is different than what I was saying, but it's almost like they could do it with the characters. I don't know why they want to do it without. You could do it with the characters.
Of course, you could do it with the characters because that's a part of the character.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like trying to think of other characters that could do it. So
I mean, Peter Parker. I'd watch him be a journalist and
I-
like take pictures.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily like the superhero stuff doesn't have to be like a small part of it, but it just has to have the theme of like like being a little bit. It doesn't have to be super serious. Like I thought Flash would have been nice as a True Detective style type thing. Maybe not R rated, but You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I thought it could have done well with like that 8 episodes. I still think the whole condensing the story works well for these shows, but they're never gonna do it, which is
Well, I mean,
almost
they
why
are.
I've given up.
I mean, the CW's never gonna do that stuff.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Like the
But
CW.
you know, the smart ones.
Yeah,
I
which
think
is
they will.
almost why I've given up on the CW shows because of like they're just so like you could do it so much better, but they just won't. And I think they just wanted
Well,
to kind
the
of
pro-
turn it on, like you know.
the problem is the CW haven't got the talent to stretch it out that long.
Probably.
That's their biggest problem. You know, a lot of shows that do the full 20 length season can do it because they have the story. You know, Shield has the story for it. This season was a bit of a it was the closest one to not being able to do it, but over here we don't have 22 episode seasons. That's rare. The only ones we have are these shows.
It's true.
For the most part, everything's like a 13 episode, short, condensed, just knock it out.
I don't think they've said how long Titans is gonna be, right? We're just assuming 10 episodes,
Um,
or is it officially
it,
10 episodes?
I mean, I'm not 100%.
I feel like we're just assuming, but
Yeah.
it's not out of the realm of possibility that it wouldn't be that. You know, it
I mean,
seems
I highly doubt it's a full 20
yeah.
episode thing. It'll probably be 13 at most, maybe 10, at least 8.
Damn. So I wonder if they're gonna have like all the DC animated movies on there and like DC anime shows, or is that later? You think? Probably
They'll be
later.
there at launch, I imagine.
Launch because I know the comics are gonna be there, and it says right here there will be digital movies, TV shows that you can watch streaming. We're gonna have a lot of comics. It's gonna be a lot of good stuff, and it'd be great to have the whole library of DC Entertainment, especially after the sad news of what happened with Jeff Johns, which we'll probably talk about one of these other shows.
You say sad news? I wouldn't be so sure about that.
It just depends how you look at it. I don't know if that's a comic or a film thing, because he is becoming a
It's
film
both.
person, but it is
It's
kind of
both.
both.
He's writing more comics because he's doing Shazam and the Three Jokers.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Shazam's coming in September.
Wait, no, wait. Where'd you hear this?
Newsarama.
What?
It's official.
All I saw was that he left and was like just doing movies.
No, he's not even left DC. Look, this is a complete sidetrack.
Yeah,
There's 1,000 different stories of this thing. He's essentially become the Kevin Feige of DC. His production company is going to be making these movies.
He has a production company now?
Yeah.
Dude, I read one article and all it said was that he's leaving and that he's just going to write and produce a Green Lantern Corps. That's all it said. I did not hear any of this other stuff.
His production company is producing the Green Lantern Corps movie.
Bro, they didn't say it in there. What?
Yeah. People were trying to say this is a bad thing for Jones. This is the best thing DC could do.
Bro, that's what man, we gotta talk about this off show because this is gonna be too long of a podcast if we started talking about that.
You know, what's it called? I think it's Mad Ghost. He's got a website up already.
Bro, you gotta say, alright, after the show.
It's got Wonder Woman. Yeah, it's got like Wonder Woman 2 on there, Green Lantern.
You gotta help me find this stuff because like the one article I read on it completely like forgot everything else. And I felt like they try to make it out as like, oh, DC's going down.
Yeah. Hold on.
But we'll probably do it after, unless you want to.
No. I was just gonna say. I think Titans is 9 episodes.
Okay, Titans that episode.
That's what Wikipedia has.
Dude, you know I didn't even like. This is so bad. I didn't even get to see that. I sent it on the Discord, but I didn't even see that set photo of Hawk and Dove of just like them in costume. I was like, dude, that looks like.
Oh yeah,
those look like awesome costumes. I never saw that.
It's a shame about everyone else. But yeah, episode one is called Titans. 2 is Hawk and Dove. 3 is Starfire. 4 is Rachel. 5 is Doom Patrol. 6 is The Messenger. 7 is Jason Todd. 8 is Angela. 9 is Donna Troy.
Is that what they're called? The episodes?
Yeah.
They're just called like characters' names. Like on this episode, we're gonna meet another DC character. It's like, who's that Pokemon? Who's that
Pretty
DC
much.
character? It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's almost like a launching point for so many other things, right?
I mean, Doom Patrol it's got its own fucking show.
It's pretty much the Iron Man of everything.
Yeah.
It's
the Iron Man 2 of everything.
It's so crazy that like this is already gonna be better than the movies.
Yeah.
Or at least the movies we had before Jeff Johns took over. All praise Jeff Johns.
Here's the thing. Like, the whole Mad Ghost Jeff Johns studio thing, if Green Lanterns and Wonder Woman 2 does really well, he's got these movies.
Dude, what was this? Because I remember for a while I was like, I will not take any, because there was Jeff Johns slander, and I would not take it.
There's a ton of Jeff Johns.
But I'm starting to see the resistance. The Jeff Johns, like, you can't. How are you gonna slander him? He's doing like everything for DC.
Yeah,
I'm so glad. Like, after seeing some of those people, like, man, you crazy. What are you even talking? Like, this is just crazy.
What you got to think about is, right, him being the CCO of DC Entertainment literally restricts him from doing everything people want him to do. Like, you know, Doomsday Clock was as late at coming out as it was because he was CCO. He can't really work on the movies because he's a CCO of DC Entertainment.
So he's like, I just have to get out of the management part and just do all the other stuff.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah, that makes sense. He let Jim Lee. He's like, Jim, they're probably still going to talk about stuff. Like, I'm sure Jeff is still going to be an honorary, like, person at the table.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying?
Why would you get rid of Johns, who just did Rebirth and, like, virtually saved your company from going under?
All praise Jeff Johns. I'm back on board on everything he's done. I was almost off.
The only thing you have to worry about is this whole AT&T WB thing.
Oh, yeah, them not being bought out, right?
Yeah, well, we don't know. We got this in the next 1 to 2 days. This week, we'll know what's going on. No.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we have to get into other stuff before we get into all that.
So, you know, DC Universe streaming service is launching August. Titans, there. Yeah. You've got it. You know everything now.
Dude, it's This is how you know it's a real show that we do. It's like stuff I'm just like, whoa, I didn't even know. All right. Going on to now the shows of the week, we are going to be talking about, first up, we'll try not to make this a 2-hour show. We're
gonna gloss over Westworld.
Yeah, we're gonna probably gloss over some of these and get into more for Cloak and Dagger. But Westworld season 2, episode 8, I thought the best episode of the show so far.
Same. Really fucking good episode.
My biggest problem was the show, and I've said it on Twitter, and I think you've maybe said it, and I think we talked about it. Was that who am I supposed to cheer for? Who is my Jon Snow? And I found him. This episode. He is my Jon Snow.
He is really. It's just so cool that he's been there this entire time. And they're like, why hasn't he been upgraded for a decade?
Yeah, that scared me a little bit.
He hasn't died. It's so good.
That was so cool. That just made him seem like he knows, like, he's this big character that he just never really died for 10 years.
Yeah. It's just like, how did no one know? Like, how did no one notice that this one host hasn't died? And it's like, nah, he does that. It'll be so people feel better about kicking his ass. And it's like, no.
You know,
no.
It's this whole thing of, like, now it promptly gives Dolores the kind of Cersei role that I feel like she's been getting. And honestly, it's almost been like a progression of, like, she was this nice chick, whatever. Now she's like Cersei level, right? So it's like,
yeah, but I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Completely. What's the expectation?
Because I thought she was going to be the Daenerys of this show, where she was going to be we follow the hero in a way, like the anti-hero. But that's actually Maeve.
I mean, is Maeve an anti-hero? Is Dolores not an anti-hero? They're all kind of wanting the same thing.
After this episode, I've realized they're alive. I think they're fully alive. Because to me, it felt like, wow, you're taking his family away, but at the same time, if you're like the people making them, you're like, they're just robots. It's like video games.
Yeah. But I mean, it depends on your definition of what's alive. You know, you said this last week. Like, what do you think defines being alive?
I think Kitchita, or that's how you say it. I think he's fully alive. I feel so bad every single time, like, this episode, when he found out it was a different woman. And then when the other lady who was awoken as well found out that her son was taken away, and, like, he brought back the piece of hair, I was so distraught. I was like, I can't handle it. This is like when they're playing that heart-shaped box cover, and he finds the dupes. I'm like, no, that's so bad. I think this episode honestly brings up the show to another level, because it's, like, cool with all this, like, confusing like robot stuff.
This is the episode this season needed.
Yes.
Like, I've enjoyed it once I kind of actually stopped being a fucking idiot and realized what was going on properly. Like, it's still kind of like season 1, where the first half is just, here's these questions, and then the second half, like, we're now finally getting answers to stuff. I feel like.
Exactly.
And this was just a really good episode.
And I honestly, there's no way around it. Yeah, this is the best way. And we finally found our hero. That was a lot of people's problems of like, who's our hero? Like, there's so many villains. Who's our hero? And while like, I think Game of Thrones probably.
I think villains is a strong word.
Okay, yeah, villain is a strong word.
It's kind of, Game of Thrones did this very similar thing where everyone's an asshole.
Who's our antagonist?
I mean, it's not
who's
even an antagonist. It's just like, who's the less shitty one?
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Who's the cleanest asshole in the Diary of Factory, man?
I don't know. I love it's. Some people may call it retcons, but I don't necessarily call them retcons. I love when you look back, you've been looking things at the wrong way, where you saw Kitchita, like, you thought he was trying to take away Maeve's daughter and kill them, but he was just trying to help them. I love that kind of stuff, where it's just kind of revealing stuff.
I said when that episode was, it's like, it didn't look like he was trying to kill her.
No, yeah, and I think I agreed with you. And I was like, yeah, it looked like he was saving them because of, in that way. And you realize, like, yeah, and he's kind of been looking over them and stuff like that. There's a theory going around that Maeve was married to Kitchita, like Alpha 1 or something like that. Because there's screenshots of Maeve in the white dress, and she has like white paint over her in some parts of her body. So and also when Maeve is like, there's the baby or the daughter and the mom, and then she was about to say the father, but then like, what is this?
Yeah. Also, if they hurt Maeve, I'm gonna be mad.
I honestly thought she was dying this episode. I thought at the end she was gonna die. I thought the last episode she was gonna die. For some reason, I think she's gonna die. I don't know why.
It's because they've been trying to kill her for the last 2 weeks.
It's also
can we stop? Like, Jonathan Nolan, can we not? I will hire your older brother and put a hit on you.
I don't know. It also I know that.
If you hurt Maeve, I will get your older brother.
Fun fact: the Nolans, they have a third brother who's a hitman.
That's so funny.
Or an assassin or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's not funny. He's a fucking literal assassin. Yeah. But it is just like, oh my god, what the hell?
But it just feels like Maeve's story is kind of done, but at the same time, it isn't, right?
Nah. Her story's way from done.
You know what? Like,
wait. You can't have, I made a promise and then kill her.
True.
Like, she have to at least either have her fail at the end of about to do that promise, or just no.
But Akishita did say, I will fulfill that promise even if you were alive or dead.
True, but I ain't having none of that.
It's true. And I think with Sizemore, fucking relentless experience like that, like, he's had such, I don't know, I never felt like he had such a character progression that he did this episode. It was this episode was like, man, I never noticed it. Or maybe
also what's his face's name, his conversation with Ford, when Ford's sitting there with the bears and the other Ghost Nations and he's taking the scalp off.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And it's like, you have no fear. I made you that way. So good.
That's so I love everything about this episode. It's pretty much the episode that makes this whole show what it is, I think, in my opinion. Because there's all this cool stuff, like confusing timelines, but this is what brings it to you, brings it heart, like the emotion.
The thing is, like, it's the standout because it was the most different episode.
Oh, definitely. It was so contained.
Takes you away from. I wouldn't say it was that contained.
No, okay, you're
right.
But
it takes you away from everything, and it's a spanner in the works, and it's so well done and so well handled. And it's just like, it's stand out.
It's almost what backdoor pilots would do, but this is pretty sure there's not going to be a backdoor pilot.
I mean, it's structured like a backdoor pilot. It's like, here's a side character that you don't really care about, that you've seen twice. And then here's an entire episode, and you're not going to like it.
Remember, I told you last week that one of the guys initially died, the actors?
Yeah.
So it was probably supposed to have a more prominent role in season 1, but out of respect, they did it. They didn't do it, and then they brought it back in a different way for season 2. And, I mean, it probably would have made more sense if you saw, like, a little bit more of that stuff in season 1, but just it being out of nowhere, I think, makes it more impactful, actually.
Well, yeah, because it goes along with the character and what they've done for him.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, he's kept to himself this entire time, and he hasn't died in 10 years.
I honestly, being on Reddit, I did not see anybody cross that the guy, when he showed up the first Westworld experience, wasn't the Akecheta. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see anybody say it was the same actor.
Because it's not the same actor.
It is, isn't it?
No, because the actor died in season 1, didn't he?
No, not in season 1. In season 2, episode 1 or 2. Um,
Oh, I thought he was in season 1.
no, when they first showed off the Westworld experience, like that they want to buy it. Remember that in the season? And he's like, he went to a party. He's like, "Who's the robot here?" And then everybody was the robot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I thought he was in season 1,
no,
and then they had the actor change. So
I think it probably the actor change or something like that. But I'm pretty sure. And also, I don't know how that works. Of like, once you're woken, you have the map inside you. It's a little weird, but I mean, I'm okay with it.
yeah, I mean, it's Westworld.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So we both loved it. And nothing else we can really say other than like we want to see more of what's gonna happen next. And next week is gonna be kind of similar, but a Man in Black type of thing. And they could show that he is a host. They could show it.
I mean, the dude's still fucking alive. If he's not a host, I'll be surprised. And that's probably bullshit because there's no way the man that old should be alive after being shot that many times.
This episode definitely brings it up to one of my top 5 favorite shows ever, honestly. So
it's still number 1 for me. So
I don't know why. I think Game of Thrones beats it because of the Jon Snow stuff, but I'm pretty sure this is like this made it so close in just one episode.
But anyway, yeah, let's go on to
My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
season 3, episode 9.
The Symbol of Peace. And it was tense.
Yeah, honestly,
I know what fucking happens, and I'm like, oh no, it's so good.
Like I really, because it always just does something different, and that one moment, like I love Midori as a character because he's super, like such a fanboy, and he knows how to do these things because he's researched so much, and he's like, all right, so this is what happened, this would happen, and he knows like he's not gonna listen to me. He's gonna listen to his best friend. That's you. That was such a smart piece of writing thing because I don't know. Usually a show would have done this. They would have done the same thing except Midoriya would have said it, and he would have just gotten away on his own type of thing instead of like getting away with. I don't know. It would have done it super differently. But the kind of show this show is, and knew a better and different way to do it.
It's because they understand the characters.
Yeah.
You know, like. Yes, shows understand their own characters, but they don't always fully understand the characters. Like this one, it knows exactly what they would do.
Mm-hmm. And listen, I don't know too much of All For One. Like this is like my first ever seeing him, and I guess they fought before. You're gonna have to explain some stuff for me if you can.
All for One is the reason why All Might has got like half his internal organs.
Whoa, really?
They've explained this in season 2, Joe.
I don't remember this, but I just remember. Yeah. Are they brothers? Are they best friends?
No.
I swear that they said they were brothers.
You know the massive fight they've said about All Might in
yes,
in the
there
past?
was one fight.
Yeah. That was a fight with All For One.
Okay.
Because they've said the reason why All Might is coughing up blood and like why he's only got
certain amount of time because All For One.
Yeah, all For One essentially ripped like half his intestinal tract out. So he's really fucked up.
That's crazy. I honestly didn't understand it in that sense that he ripped half his intestines out. In a sense.
Well, it might not be his intestines. I think it probably is his intestines. I think that it'll make the most sense. He's definitely like at least half of his internal.
That's why he's so skinny.
There. No, he was skinny before.
Oh, okay, he was always skinny. Okay, never mind. But yeah, it's that whole kind of story for him is really good, and also I always love characters that what's the right term for it? Characters that kind of balance each other out, where All Might can pass his powers on, and the other one can only steal them and give them to others.
All For One can pass them on.
Yeah, but it's not like he has them still too. Right, he just passes it.
Well, here's the thing, like All For One can take and give quirks.
Yeah.
That's what he does. One For All is like it can take, but the initial quirk can get passed on. All For One can't be passed on.
Yeah.
It's just
so once All For One dies, there's that power is no longer going to be anywhere.
Or at least I think that's how it works.
But to me, see, I love how like the opposite of they are. One can be passed down, one can't. So like he did say he fought his master, didn't he? All for
What
One
Wolf one?
fought the one
Yeah.
before All Might.
Which, fun fact, we'll no doubt be seeing either next episode or the one after.
So, and that's the whole thing of like kind of this. He's always been fought like All for One. Like they're always going to be in constant battle until one of like All for One dies because
Yeah, I think. Do I say that? Is it too much of a spoiler?
no, don't say
No,
it, don't say it, don't
I'll
say
say
it,
it. No,
don't
I'll
say it.
say that. I'm not even 100% sure if I'm right in remembering
Yeah,
it, but it's interesting.
yeah.
It's
I
definitely
just love the interesting ways they go around with the show. Um, I
Also, spoilers. You will cry next episode.
I probably will
I'll tell
because
you right now.
all my
I mean,
whittled
like
down.
me
Didn't he?
saying, that it doesn't ruin, it doesn't spoil what's going to happen next episode.
Yeah.
Some people think, oh, you're going to cry. Like, oh, well, it's obvious what happens. It's like, it's not quite obvious what's happened.
I mean, I kind of said that All Might was gonna lose his powers or die, one of those. But we'll see. So what else about this episode that we can kind of go over before we go into?
I mean, Mount Lady is MVP.
That was cool.
It's just like, oh, boom.
I didn't think Best Genius died, but I guess he died.
Oh, he's dead. He's got like a hole in his stomach. He's dead.
Yeah.
I still think he dies. I know. Again, I haven't read the manga since before the season 2 finished.
Yes.
So I can't really. Like if someone goes, "Oh, this happens," I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it does." But off the top of my head, I can't really remember it.
Yeah, this episode was just so good. It almost felt like a blur, but in a good way because I felt everything at once.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're supposed to. It's supposed to be hectic and like really tense and everything. So it's really good job putting that off.
I did love. I've always said stuff about this for this show, for like kind of All Might being the Superman aspect about it, and Midoriya, and they're both doing different stuff to keep people safe. And even All for One says that you're not going full strength because you'd blow away the people.
Yeah, it's clever. The show's clever.
The show is clever, yeah.
If only Man of Steel did this, how good would that movie have been?
It would have been amazing. It would have been my perfect Superman movie.
It would have been a fucking good Superman movie.
Because they do stuff like this in Smallville, to be honest. They do stuff like this in Smallville, and that's like what everybody always goes back to as like being one of the best Superman interpretations, because it's like, it's just, they get it. And, I still really like Man of Steel, but there's a certain way I would have probably, like, it would have been on another level if it would have did sort of this stuff.
It's a good Injustice movie.
Well, that is with the, what is it?
I mean, in Man of Steel wasn't based on Injustice.
Whoa. What if Jeff Jones announces Man of Steel 2 for his new kind of production company?
I mean, I can guarantee you he'll no doubt get Superman.
There has to be stuff like,
Look, once he gets Green Lantern out of the way, or the Green Lantern Corps, which fun fact is going to have Hal Jordan and John Stewart in it.
How would you not give Jeff Jones Green Lantern when he's made one of the best Green Lantern story ever, or probably the best?
I mean, it doesn't help he was on the original Green Lantern movie.
Yeah, but like, I don't know if
we've gone off topic.
Yeah, it's true. I have gone off topic for some reason. But I just, I don't know how long the season's going to be. Do you know? 20? Is it 20 something?
It's the same as last season. So
20
that was
something?
what? It was 20 something, yeah, I think.
Let me check.
Season 1 was 13.
Season 2 was 25.
Yeah, so we're in the 40s now. So, yeah.
So it's gonna be on IMDb. It only gives it 17 episodes, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through, so
yeah. Oh man, so good. This is like so epic. We're not even halfway through, but this is all. You already could tell, like, the big stuff happens in the middle, and then it kind of, like, dwindles down a little bit, and kind of for the next...
Well, so is the way. It's you have, like...
It's a progression.
Not the light stuff, but you start off at a certain level, and then you have the really darkest hour moment of a season, and then...
You light it back up.
You have the deal. Yeah, you had the light at the end of it, so...
Exactly.
We're in that darkest hour moment.
Oh, the longest night.
It really... Or longest night, yeah.
Yeah, so... I don't know what else you want to talk about this episode. I really loved it.
It's really hard because I want it to be next week already, just because it's such, everyone knows it's a fight, so it's just such a good fight.
Exciting.
And there's just a way they handle it and how it ends up and what happens. it's just done so well. Like, no one else does it like this show and this story in general. So yeah,
Well, all right then. We're now moving on to the last show, Cloak and Dagger season 1, episode 1 and 2. The premiere was back to back.
I waited so long, so long.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what you felt more about because you know these characters more than I do.
I mean, right. Well, first of all, they changed a lot.
Oh yeah,
It's very different. In hindsight, watching the trailers, just like they kind of like there's a bit of Ultimates in there. There's a bit of 616. It's not really like that at all. But then again, trailers lie. They never met as kids that young, and then came across each other again. But I think that's the whole divine pairing, like pushing and pulling aspect of the story they're trying to tell. But I'm fine with it. These characters they could have done with a reinvention anyway. So, and they did it well. So I'm all for it. What's her name? Olivia Holt and Aubrey. Is it Aubrey?
Yeah, Aubrey Joseph. Yeah.
Yeah. For a guy who I think it's his first acting gig, he does really fucking well. Like, I kind of wish he wasn't as mumbly, but I don't know if that's how they're telling him to do it or if that's just how he acts.
He's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things before this. Some like never heard of.
Yeah, but they're nothing big though. It's his first actual.
Yeah, I don't because it says right here he was in Run All Night. That's the one with Liam Neeson, but I don't think he was any like in the top. Like even cast, like when you look at IMDb of that movie, he's not in that cast section. You probably have to look at full cast. And you have In the Night Of. I haven't seen that show. I still haven't saved it. I really want to watch that show. I think it's only 1 season. Like they're not gonna do season 2, but I think it's an interesting show. And I don't think he's in that either. So it's one of those things where he's always been like in the really back. This is kind of big time.
This is like his first like leading.
He's done well. I think he's done well. You can kind of tell, though.
I mean,
I just don't know if that's the cheesiness of the show. If that's kind of him, you can kind of tell he's still raw at this.
Cheesy.
Some moments, I thought. Other than that, it was still very kind of serious and like very emotional. I was like, oh man, what? But there's little cheesy moments, not a lot, and that's not even.
I mean, like
little bit.
Like the cheesiest thing I can remember is, or that I kind of caught on to was the emojis of power. Like, yeah, that's kind of cheesy.
Certain stuff like that, but other than that, it's like it's not a cheesy show overall.
Yeah,
I don't think so. It's very dark. I'm serious in a way.
I mean, it needed to be. These kids are grim, gritty street rats that stop drug stuff. And they battle like drug gangs and drug lords. Like, they're not happy-go-lucky. It needed to be really grim and dark.
I'll be honest. It gets pretty dark as much as I remember Pretty Little Liars did. And I just kind of said I watched Pretty Little Liars before. But even that, like, Freeform is known for getting kind of edgy. But that's not a bad way of saying it. It just gets a little more serious and darker.
I mean, they are edgy characters. Like,
they're known for being a little bit more edgy, and I think the show benefited from doing that. I think it would have probably if it would have been a little bit more cheesy, like The Flash or something. I don't know if it'd be
if it was like The Flash, I wouldn't be talking about it right now.
I think the serious part of it is like there's certain things that there's like socially you can talk about and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're very much social commentary characters. They always were.
I mean, especially
like most characters, like there's always a social commentary behind.
Yeah, apparently they didn't have the powers they did of like being able to see into people's certain things.
No, they did.
They did. Oh, whoa! Yeah. I mean, okay, I didn't know. I thought they didn't.
Yeah. No. I don't know how they work in this show because originally I believe it was they showed people like. Tandy shows the hopes, Tyrone shows the fears.
That's what
black, white, like that.
That's what they say. Joe Bukowski says that in the comics he felt like it was a little oversimplified. So in the TV show they made it where in this world Tandy's like she's a street rat and yada yada yada, but she doesn't see the good in people, but she does with her powers because she sees their hopes, their best parts of them.
Yeah, the only thing I want to know is because I'm certain in the comics it was that the people saw that as well. Because doesn't the mother see the vision for Tyrone? Like where they're walking in the
No,
supermarket
she
with the
doesn't
lights.
see it. She just feels it.
Yeah, she has a reaction to it,
They both. I
right?
think they all have reaction to it. It's just that Tandy's mom
No,
was drunk.
see, that's what I want to know. Does she see it? Because she doesn't act like she does,
No,
and she was drunk or she was high on
I,
whatever,
I don't think they see either of them see it. I think they
or
feel
they
when
they
their
feel it.
the
Yeah,
powers are being used on them.
yeah.
I think you
They
can
they, they
feel
feel
it.
it, or
Yeah.
like see it, feel it, whatever word you want to use for it. It's just the same thing.
Not really, because if you see it, it's different.
Well, no, but you see it, you feel it.
No, because I don't think they're feeling
Yeah.
like. What I took away from it was that they felt like they exercised or something like that. Like they're sweaty. They're like they want to sit down, kind of thing.
Whatever.
I mean, I don't know. I just
Either one, whatever. It's that Tandy's mother didn't have a reaction to
which
it.
is weird. I know.
So it's kind of like,
But neither did the boyfriend. Like he's just like, you okay? Only when
true, true.
only when the guy did it, and maybe it's because it's the fear stuff about it.
I mean, the fear's only with Tyrone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why his is different because like they'll feel a reaction to it, whereas opposed with Tandy they won't because it's nicer, maybe.
I mean, at the same time, they are very like premature powers.
Yeah, I love that aspect about it. That it's just so raw and that they just got them.
Mm.
Like they don't. It doesn't work when they want them to.
Well, here's the thing: like, they haven't just got them; they've had them since they were kids.
Yeah, but they've just
Technically,
manifested, right?
yeah. Like, it's when they actually even. I don't know. I have a question about how they actually work. Like, it's not. It's only a tiny, minor nitpick, but it's like they were touching each other on the beach when they were kids.
Yeah.
When they woke up. But the powers didn't happen then, but they happen when they're teenagers and they touch.
Maybe it's stored up.
I mean, maybe, yeah. They
It
could
seems like
say
it.
it's like a personality.
See, because like
Right.
that's the one thing I love of how they portray the powers in this, especially when he's getting Tyrone's getting beat up and then he wants to do it again, and he's like, "Damn it, I didn't have it." And like,
Yeah. I tell you what, the way it happens when he's asleep is a fucking nightmare.
oh yeah, that's scary. That's
How
always my
bad?
nightmare, dude. Like just
How
waking up somewhere
bad?
else,
And like fucking wake up in the back of a car.
dude, or just waking up on
Just
the
like-
roof. Like, where the am I?
I mean, the roof would be weird, but at least you're somewhere you can get down from without getting shot.
So, explain to me a little bit about their powers. Tyrone could teleport or send people somewhere. If he
Well,
wants?
Tyrone taps into the Dark Force, which
Okay.
we've had in Agent Carter season 2.
I never saw Agent Carter, so I don't remember. Sorry.
All right, well, the end of Agent Carter directly sets us up.
Okay. Sorry.
Mainly because of that. It's also the same place Dormammu was in Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's cool.
Dark Dimension, the Dark Force.
That's cool.
Shield's done it a couple of times.
Yeah. Tandy?
It's Tandy. I'm not 100% sure how Tandy's powers work.
The Light Force? The Light Dimension? Maybe?
No.
Oh. that just seems too straight up.
No, I mean, it might be actually. I'm not I'm not 100% certain on it. But
But
just daggers and the whole night thing.
I gotta
whole
agree with you on
hoax.
the dagger thing. I don't know, it looks weird, but it doesn't look like she's holding it. It looks like it's coming out of a portal out of her hand.
Well, I think that's just because there's light.
It's true,
That's-
but it
that's
just
what
looks
that-
like she creates like this little portal of the light to come
Yeah.
out and stuff comes out.
No, I'm not even down on how the daggers look. I think they look fine. They look how they are in the comics. I just always envision them in the live action setting that they'd be like a crystal,
So if
where
they
you
were
had
to,
like the round and the point.
if they were to be in a fight, all really Tyrone could do is kind of teleport people.
Well, I mean,
He has the dark, but can you get like dark energy from it? Like there's like little lightning of dark energy going
he
to
can
people.
like suck the energy out of people. Like you put
Oh,
them in
and
the
then
dark force, and then they
incapacitate
just
them.
like yeah. Like she's the offensive power.
He's the
not.
defensive.
Yeah.
Oh, that make okay. That's I'm just trying to like get a.
But even then, originally she's not offensive because the daggers never actually cut people. You only ever had the sensation of it, and then like she can purify people with that. I don't know if they'll do that in this show. I imagine they would if they got the whole hopes and fears stuff.
She actually cut somebody. Wow.
I mean, yeah, in
I
the
didn't-
new comics now by hopeless, it cuts people, so that's a change.
But like when that whole thing was happening, I was like, oh, he's like the whole like rape thing. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work well with people.
I was
Probably,
I was just like, are we really going there in
yeah,
episode 1? It's like, damn.
yeah. But at
But
the
I mean,
same time,
it sets the tone. You
yeah,
know, this
it
show
does.
is not a kiddie show. It is very much
It's young
on the level.
YA. It feels YA to be honest. Like
No. I would. This is more. This is like Jessica Jones level.
really,
I
because
would say.
this is like what
Yeah.
some YA stuff are. They get pretty dark like this. Pretty Little Liars got
I
pretty
mean,
dark.
I don't
Hunger
do
Games got
YA
pretty
stuff.
dark.
Even though I think I'm still in the demographic for YA stuff, because doesn't YA go for like 30 plus?
Dude, YA stuff gets pretty dark. I'm not lying. Like I've seen
I
certain
mean,
stuff, and I'm like, oh, whew.
I mean,
But it's like a weird kind of dark.
it gets YA dark.
Yeah, this is YA dark, rapey type of stuff where it's like.
But then again, I don't know. I think the
I
way
hate saying that word. It's so weird saying it.
what rapey,
Yeah, it's so weird saying it.
damn rapey. But I don't know. I think the way they handled it in this show, it didn't really feel YA.
A little
It
bit
felt
because he said, "I got this, boys. Go on ahead." I kind of laughed at that. I was like, "What?"
I mean,
That was a little.
I don't know what rapists say in that
Me either.
situations.
But I don't know
So,
why. I just found it
I-
funny that he said that. He was like, "Go ahead, boys, pack it up for the night. Get a couple brewskis on me. I got you." I was like, "What?"
I mean, he is a bit of a knobhead.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I kind of laughed because he is kind of that character was a knobhead. But at the same time, I was like, she also robbed him. She robs a lot of people. I don't like any of them.
how dare you put down
Tyrone
okay.
is the only guy I can fully go for because he's a nice kid who somebody was getting under his skin and he had to push back.
Tandy is not a bad kid.
She's robbing people.
Yes, but she's a victim of circumstance, Joe.
I guess that's true. Her mom is the
Look,
one that made it off. Yeah.
I could pull the race card on you if it was roles reversed like it should have been in the comics. You wouldn't be saying it.
You know what?
It's because she's what. That's what's going on.
Because I like that we go to like our ethnicities on this. So I'm like, because I'm a person of color. I'm like, I gotta go for the person of color.
I mean, I like them both.
I like them. I think they're cool. I think they're both
No.
interesting. But it was just in that circumstance, I was like, I mean, that's bad. But at the same time, I don't want that to happen to her, but she's also robbed people. I hate both of them.
No, it's fine.
I mean, it's also like you put somebody in a bad situation, you're going to feel bad for them. Even if they robbed people and stuff like that. Like, I felt bad for her. I was like, damn.
You know, the poor girl's got no parents. She doesn't even go to fucking school from the look of things.
Yeah, it doesn't work here. I mean,
No, she's gone from riches to rags in like a matter of weeks.
the boyfriend didn't even like. She didn't even tell the boyfriend that she was sleeping there. I feel bad for the boyfriend too. Like he's just like he probably just wanted like to fall in love with her and everything. Like yeah, sure they're robbing people, but like
I mean, can you blame him? It's Olivia Holt.
I mean, yeah.
She's perfectly legal.
But yeah, you know what? The only thing I found weird about these two episodes was the one cop lady who never talked until the last.
She does talk. There's a lot of people have brought that up.
When did she talk?
She talks in episode 2.
Yeah, at the very end.
It's not a lot, but she talks in episode 2.
Literally at the very end, like, dude, you're under arrest. Liam, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
That's all she says.
I'm kind of glad you brought her up and the lack of and her talking. Did you notice that this show didn't have that much dialogue? A lot of it was just them acting and music.
Yeah, it's just them like showing stuff that happened, right? Like to them and just like kind of their little ticks about it of like, oh, Tyrone does this, Tandy does this, and stuff like that. Just to get you into the characters. Yeah.
It's an interesting choice. I don't think I've ever seen for a show.
Yeah.
Where like they just act and there's not that many words. If there is a show and I've watched it, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But it's like it kind of just just shows you that, you know, yes, Olivia Holt's a Disney kid. She was in a Disney show, but she can still.
She was in a Disney show. What show?
I think she was in Kicking It.
Ah, it's probably one of those weird ones. Yeah. Let me check.
I mean, she's a more recent, I think, Disney kid.
Yeah, 2011, 2015. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you know, like it just goes to show, you know, you get the right material and the right director behind any actor, they can do good. Like, but no, it just the music and everything, it let them act, and I don't know. it's just an interesting choice that myself and a few others picked up on. But
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I wish there would be more basketball scenes. That's me though.
okay, um, we're gonna have a little.
How real was that basketball scene? Um,
Yeah, yeah. I
the
was
ref
trying to go a
clearly got
kind of
paid.
funny route there, but I couldn't think of anything.
No, yeah, I was exactly. I tweeted it. I said I'm only here to critique the
Yeah.
basketball scenes and kind of how realistic they are. The ref clearly got paid. Um,
I mean, clearly.
but I mean, I don't think he gets kicked out right after he punches him because I was like, you should get kicked out.
No, he's not
Also,
kicked out
this is a
yet.
high school game. It's like they're
Yep.
doing certain stuff. I'm like, I don't know if you should be doing this in a high school game. Like, it's kind of weird. But I don't. I thought it was like overall the kind of vibe they were going for. Like, how real can you get with the high school stuff? I thought it was cool. I thought
Yeah.
it worked. I thought like here's a party. No, wait. The funniest thing, I swear, I saw this these 2 episodes was he had to pay for beer at a party.
Yeah, I
Who
did not
does
understand.
that? What? I am
Right,
not here for that ever. I am not
It's
here
like
for that.
to be fair, I know one of my
I've
oldest
never
friends is
known that.
one of my oldest friends is very tight with money. God bless her. You have a party, a barbecue, anything, you have to bring your own stuff.
Yeah, you
God
don't
forbid
pay for
anything
anything
supplied.
though. You just bring some stuff.
I mean, you do, you are paying for it because you have
I
to
mean,
take it yourself.
Yeah, I guess in
No,
a
it's
way,
where
but
like a lot of other people go, we're having a barbecue. Like, here's all
something.
the food we brought for the barbecue. That's how it normally goes down. At
Yeah.
least I know anyway. But it's just like that bit, and I'm like, and it's $5 a cup. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's way too much. I
was
could go
like-
get like more than that.
It's like, look, mate, fucking London ain't that expensive. For
That
a
was
pint.
just the
Jugger.
weirdest thing ever. And like all the other stuff, like emojis, and I was like, all right, that makes sense. But it's like you have to pay $5.
I mean, I suppose maybe millennials, young
Do
kids.
that? Wow, they're getting
like,
ripped off. Then I never had to pay for anything besides
It's
my own
like,
stuff.
you can't afford to buy a house, but you can get avocado and beer.
I just thought it was that was just a funny moment.
It's an odd choice, but
Yeah.
it's I don't know
No.
American party culture. So
The
I
only
can't say.
other time I've seen that in television where like they were selling like alcohol and like getting into party stuff like that was in a show called Friday Night Lights. It was like a football show in this small football town, and 2 of the characters did it because they wanted to make some money for something. And it was
Yeah.
like it made sense. They even said it, but like, and I've seen that I think happen a couple times with like, yo, we're just trying to make some money. We're making this big party and stuff like that, like a bonfire type stuff. That makes sense. But like just this random like kind of on a Saturday night, or I don't know.
Well, it wasn't random, was it? Because it was they were celebrating.
It was probably like for like making it a state or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what. Yeah, they're making the stage.
Oh, there's probably gonna be more scenes, basketball scenes, then if they're going like to the chip and
I
everything.
mean, yeah.
Uh,
You're not just gonna cut that out. It's part of his character now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm here to. We're gonna have a segment of how realistic it's gonna be. Nah, probably not. But other than that, yeah, I really enjoyed the show. I don't. I find it more enjoyable than Runaways, to be honest.
Same. I really enjoyed Runaways.
Yeah, same.
I think the first 2 episodes, like just comparing the first 2 episodes, because that's all I'm doing at the minute.
Yeah.
In hindsight, like the way Runaways did the first 2, where they had the parents' perspective, I enjoyed,
Oh yeah.
but it was kind of too samey. So it's like, I've seen this before. It's like I don't think you needed a full episode. Like, to be fair, it wasn't a full episode; it was like half. But at the same time, this was just continuing everything we've seen, so it actually moved along. It didn't just kind of like stay in its place. And I think that's where I find it stronger. But like, even like just character-wise, I've got more of a connection to these 2 than I ever did the Runaway. So
I do too, especially kind of how like their lives got flipped on themselves, where one was rich, then got poor, and one was poor, then got rich. Yeah, I really into this kind of stuff and this kind of street vibe-ish thing, and not realistic, but like real world type of problems.
yeah, the setting is like a realistic setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
New
it's
Orleans.
not necessarily.
New Orleans.
Yeah, and it's a nice change. They're very much New York characters, like everyone else in Marvel. I'm all for putting it out there. And there's some people are like, oh, but there's no connections. It's like, there's Roxxon right there. They've been in 3 Iron Man movies. Connection right there, confirmed. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it, right? If you got anything else.
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing them actually
So,
use his powers more and see them actually get like
so
creative.
this show has done justice to your favorite characters.
So far, yes.
Okay, so far yes. All right. So, with that, we'll see you next time.
Toodles.